Hi everybody, hope you're all well. Hope you're all getting ready for Christmas and the holiday. Decided again, another thing was different about this video for you. I was watching the video from the International Association of Wood Carvers the other day, and yes, the subject touched on a little bit about what I believe as well. How can I explain a little bit more? This guy here, he's got a name. I created him as Deputy Clyde Sidewinder Jenkins. He's done a short video, but he's also on a full video of how I carved him out. It's on a YouTube video, as I mentioned, carving a full body cowboy. It's on multiple parts, it may be 6, but it does go from the very start of a block of wood right through to the end. This character was also referenced in there as well. And I mentioned about me being a beginner. I am still a beginner. I've been whittling maybe for 5 years now. And yes, I've improved a little bit, or I'd like to think and hope I have. But these are possible. And I can probably get him done now in a day. Maybe less, I don't know. I haven't really done a full body cowboy for a couple of weeks now. I mean, this video of these came out, oh blimey, it's got to be 2-3 months ago now. But it mentions in there what I started talking about then. Doing something different on each carving. You know, you've got to leave some pieces on the body if you're a beginner, just because you may not have got the skills together yet. And for example, these years, I mention it now in the video. Let me just get that video and I'll show you now. Now I like that as it is. I just need to do a few tweaks here and there. And that's how it goes, especially if you're doing multiple ones of them, like I've done maybe a dozen of these cowboys now. Could I repeat one exactly the same again? No. Do I want them to be all exactly the same? No. So, change them up a little bit. Give them bigger ears, bigger eyebrows, bigger eyes, bigger noses, different shape noses. It's all about enjoying yourself. All about enjoying yourself. There's wood still on there for you to take off. Again, maybe around the arms or the hands or the buckles. These are too big, but at the time of doing the recording, I didn't want to take it down too much. I knew they were sort of exaggerated on you, and do I mind it? No, not at all. Some went a little bit smaller. Buck Leather Legs Lawson, I think this one was called. I gave him some leather chaps. Again, give him a scarf with a different colour, different pattern on it, so as to be. The finish on this one was boiled linseed oil, and I added a bit of tone at the time, a little bit of red on his nose. Not much of a set of eyes on that one. It's totally different to what that one is there. But am I happy with it? Yes, of course I am. I mean, I'm still a beginner. I'm not expecting for it to be perfect. But if I wanted to, I could go back to it right now and change that a little bit. But I know I've heard from other people with experience say, don't change it. And I mentioned that in the video as well. And I don't intend to at the moment. But I could if I wanted to go back to it. I've left too much wood on where the hat is here. And I've now seen a cowboy with a square hat there, you know, on the edge. But again, I'll come back to it at a later date. I didn't get his head into the hat enough, but I've left enough on there so I can go in. So don't be afraid to, to give it a go. Learn from your mistake. There's enough wood left on there. Same with the scarf. Look how deep the scarf is. I can whittle that right down. The legs, I've left the legs really, really thick and deep, and that's just the character maybe of what I do. And I love the ones that are with a skinny leg. Myron, I believe, I hope I'm pronouncing that well. He inspired me to do these. I had a picture of his carvings up on my big screen while I was doing them, thinking like, how's he got that? What are the proportions? But don't be afraid to change something on them. So that one is facing forward with his eyes, but these are looking to the right. That's a change. This one's got his hand where his thumb is on top of the belt, holding the belt like it's weighing and holding his hand up. This one's got his hand in his pocket, and his hand and pocket is further towards the back than what this one is. This one's on the belt, so you've got one on the belt, one in the hand. One hand in the pocket, I mean. See, so something different about the two of those. Not necessarily now in the same order I made them in. Here's the jeans that I made with a couple of wrinkles on there. But again, look at the depth of his nose now. I know it's changing his chin. It's coming really forward. And I didn't really know how to get a cigar or whatever, you'd be smoking there. Was I afraid of giving it a go? No. I gave it a go, and his eye sockets are right back in there. Whereas on this one, it's not. It's level with the head. But look at the difference in where his facial expressions are. The hats, I've probably gone a little bit too deep there on the hat. I don't mind. It's just the character what I got. That one didn't have it in at all. It's fine. Eyebrows are a bit pronounced in all of them as well. He didn't have a belt buckle. It's okay though. So that's another one. Then I'd made a slightly smaller one with a lot more wrinkles on his face, with a longer dropped jawline. Again, leaving a bit on there for the ears. And the brim of the hat now, I've tried to sort of round the front, but I wasn't quite sure if should I go in there or not. I haven't changed it, I've left it as it is. Again, this time, rather than put lines on where the legs are, I've left gouge marks all the way down it and just sort of flicked a bit of white paint over the edges of it to give it that like crackle effect that's on there. And this time he's got a collar instead of scarves. So something different. Next one. He's got a moustache and a wider nose, a taller hat, probably sitting in, his head is in the hat a bit more than maybe some of the others are. But again, I've left enough on here for the ears. And the hands are bigger. Maybe I can take it down at a later date, but I've left enough room in there for the belt at a later date. So another one with something different on it. Collar again. Straighter legs this time, rather than all the bends that I've had. Maybe not so much in that one. But his head is at the back with the hair. And the belt coming down, pointing down more. And a wider stance, they're different. Then I've made this one. Again, a lawman this time. He's got his own little video out there. And this one was a video, not a short that I made, although I think there is a short out on there on him. Again, look at the difference now. I got him pointing at the badge. When I started doing these, I didn't know who was who doing the carvings, etc. And I just saw a carving and just did it. I didn't really know who was who with, who makes what else and things like that. But it's a great idea. I get inspired by so many of you out there. And I'll take time now to say thank you so much. I really mean that. These are memories. If you don't do something, it'll never be a memory. Yes, again, look at the size of his ear. I've left enough on there. I'm just not very good. But that may be something I just leave as they are all the time. I've given him a little bit of V-cuts in there. V-cuts in with the top of the noses and the bridge of the nose. Just to give him a different bit of character and lengthened his jaw, which is why he came up, with that title of Iron Jaw. But now I've twisted his head this time. So again, something different on him. I went smaller with this guy, just to sort of see what, the difference would be when I'm carving it. This guy, he's just over 5 inches tall. So 13 and a half, 14 cent. He's under 14 centimeters, whereas Iron Jaw was nearly 16 centimeters tall. 6 inches, the full 6 inches. I've done it from a big block of wood, haven't I? So I've cut them in half from the 12-inch block of wood. But again, yes, I tried something different. Tried to do a bit more of a skinnier leg, really, and skinnier arms to see how it would work. It turns out okay. Teeth could do a bit of work. But again, I tried something different. I tried curling up the hat. Didn't really work. Well, maybe it didn't. I can come back to it. I went back then to doing another sheriff. Again, look at the shape of his mouth and his eyes and how I twisted his head on there, giving the belt a slight angle compared to that one. This one's angle is slightly down, but now his hand is on the belt better than what it was there. It's bigger. But I twisted his belt and twisted his shirt just by giving it that curve that's on there and the dots that sort of enhance it. Again, a bigger nose. Try something different, that's right. So then I went back to smaller ones. Buck Dusty McCraw, I believe this one was. Now we're down to a hair over 3.5 inches tall. So those of you who don't have big blocks of wood, 9 centimeters. Blimey. You're down to the size that Doug Linker's doing, not the 1x1 series, but the same height as those 1x1 series. Buck Dusty McCraw. I like him a lot because I just couldn't believe I could get that size done. I was prepared to fail, but by failing you'll learn. And I'm happy with him. Even his ears are great. Great big jaw with a wide open smile. I tried a different one. I haven't finished this one yet, but it's going to be a gun. And I drilled a hole in the hand to get it through. Again, something different. I've twisted his mouth slightly. Every one of them has something different in them. Every one of them. So don't be afraid to give it a go. Even as a beginner, you can use a flex cut knife. Nothing wrong with these. I use these for months on end, and I still use them now. You may not see it in the video. In that video, where I was doing this guy, the point I was going to mention earlier on in the video. I'm using Gail Larson's knife. Gail Larson's knife. That's the one I used. You can get knives from Gail, easily available. They cost a little bit more than the flex cut knife. But boy, I tell you what, that sits in your hand really nicely. That helps me just sort of guide it a little bit, whereas this is just too much. I could groove it out here if I wanted to, but my point is you can use this as a beginner. If you've got a little bit extra cash spare, buy a B-tool and a gouge. You can achieve all of this with these. Got a D8-7 gouge, and the V tool is the D12-6. These are probably my most used ones. So they are what I would suggest to get if you're going to spend a little bit more on the knife. And again, if you can get them, especially if you're in the States or Canada, the Orange County carving tools, OCCT knives, these are probably one of my favourites, which is probably matching up there with a Chris Denham knife, which I've got in plenty of my latest videos that I'm using. It's an 01 tool steel knife blade, which is, to me, that's the best blade you can have out there. I don't know what else everybody else is really using. This stays so sharp that all I do is put my own strop in there that I've made, and there's a video, I'll include a link up here somewhere or whatever now for that. But cheap to make again, and that's all it takes is that. It don't need no diamond stones or anything, just a cheap strop, piece of leather on a piece of wood, and that's it, job done. Anyway, thank you once more. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please click a like and leave a comment down below. And if you could leave the videos run through the end, I'd really appreciate that, because obviously YouTube and its analytics makes a difference. Even if you've watched it once, I don't care, just leave a comment or whatever down below. Really helps out. Thank you very much today for watching and taking the time. Appreciate you all for coming back. Have a great day. Take care. Bye now. Catch you in the next one.